Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ragland. Welcome to The Big Picture. It is an awesome night tonight. Got a lot of ground and a lot of news to cover. Let's get into it tonight. We're going to, of course, talk about Israel. We're going to talk about CBDC and a new escalation that's happening. And we're going to talk about 2024, how it's the year that everything changes. Let's get busy. We got a lot of ground to cover. And I got an exciting announcement to tell you about. Let's go. The Big Picture is live. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to The Big Picture. The crowd is going wild. Yes, it is Monday. TGIM. Thank you to everybody that's already loading up the live chat from all over the world that's watching us tonight. We're so thankful for our church family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I got an exciting announcement, then I got a little somewhat sad announcement, but everything's okay. You're stuck with me tonight. Pastor Sandy, I'm sorry. Do not leave the show. Please do not leave the show. I'm going to do everything like I normally do. We got a lot of news to cover tonight, but Pastor Sandy's not going to be with us tonight. If you watched last week, you know she was a little bit under the weather. Well, she took a little downturn, went to the doctor, and, nothing serious. It's a sinus infection, but got a steroid, got a lot of stuff going on. She wanted so bad to be on here tonight, but I had to make executive husband decision, and I just said, no. What I need you to rest, I need you to rest tonight. We got this tonight. The Big Picture family can handle at least one night without you, Sandy. I know it's going to be hard for y'all, but here's why you're going to want that to be, because you're going to want her to be feeling good, because on Thanksgiving morning, which is coming up, if you're watching this live, you watch on the replay, Thanksgiving's already left and come and gone. But in just a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, this is Monday, Thursday, of course, is Thanksgiving. You know, the Macy's, I got an actual news item tonight about the Macy's parade, and if you didn't already need a reason to not watch the Macy's parade, you'll get that tonight. But instead of watching the Macy's parade at 9 a.m. live right here on our channel, on Rumble and maybe on Facebook, not sure yet, Sandy and I will be live talking to you here at 9 a.m. Just to have a special Thanksgiving morning with you guys. It'll give you a better alternative than watching the woke parade that we have now. So I just told her, I said, we need you to get well so that you can be with us on Thanksgiving. And of course, everybody's coming over to our house, so she's got to be ready for that. So that's what's going on tonight. So y'all keep her in your prayers, and y'all know how much she loves being with the Big Picture family tonight. So it was a big, big deal for her not to be with us tonight. So that's why she's not here. So you're stuck with me. I'm sorry, okay? I'll have to be enough for one night, all right? Let's get into the news tonight. First of all, you may have already heard this, but Yemen, the Houthi rebels that are obviously enemies of Israel, Iran-backed Houthi rebels hijacked an Israeli-linked ship in the Red Sea. Just think about all the famous Bible places that we're hearing in the news now. This is what Moses and the children of Israel crossed. But the Red Sea, taking 25 members hostage. Israeli officials insisted the ship was British-owned and Japanese-operated. The captain of the ship was Japanese. However, ownership details in public shipping databases associated the ship's owners with Raykar Carriers, which was founded by Abraham Rami Ungar, who is known as one of the richest men in Israel. Yemen's Houthi rebels seized it, took all 25 crew members hostage, and so they're negotiating right now, trying to release those hostages. And they made a statement. The Houthi rebels made a statement that says all ships belonging to the Israeli enemy, call them the Israeli enemy, or that deal with it will become legitimate targets, the Houthis said. The detention of the Israeli ship is a practical step that proves the seriousness of the Yemeni armed forces in waging the sea battle, regardless of its costs. He added, this is the beginning. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an escalation. This is a quick escalation of other nations trying to pull themselves into this conflict. Obviously, this was very well known, the richest man in all of Israel. But they had to do some research and they had to find out, maybe it doesn't have an Israeli flag on it, but it is owned by the richest man in all of Israel. So they detained it. Not a single Jewish person was on the ship. They were from Mexico. I know there was from Japan. There was several different nations. I think it was like 5 or 6 nationalities represented in those 25 crew members. Not a single Israeli or Jew. And they were taken captive and they're taken hostages. And get this. This is what they said. They said, don't worry, we are treating the hostages according to Islamic law. Not according to the Geneva Convention, not according to the rules of war, but according to Islamic law, which is, of course, Sharia law. And that's not a good situation for those rebels to be involved in. Netanyahu's office condemned it and said that condemned the seizure as, quote, Iranian act of terror, because they know that the Houthi rebels are backed directly by Iran. Called it an Iranian act of terror. Israeli officials insisted the ship was British-owned, of course, Japanese operated, as we said earlier. U.S. defense officials confirmed that Houthi rebels seized the Galaxy leader in the Red Sea on Sunday afternoon. And this is wild. The rebels descended on the cargo ship by rappelling from a helicopter, the officials said, confirming details reported. So who do you think's funding and even flying probably that helicopter? Iranian-trained armed people, okay, military. So this is really Iran showing its cards that they literally are the force behind every enemy just about of Israel right now. Certainly any country that doesn't have a large amount of wealth on their own, Iran is funding those rebels, those terrorists. And here's the thing that's crazy is we keep releasing money to them on the United States of America. Did you know that just a couple of days ago, just last week, we released another $10 billion to Iran, while China, the day that China's emperor is in America, we're lining our streets with Chinese flags, and we're releasing another $10 billion to Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to say too much more about this, but this administration is revealing the cards that that America is nowhere near their interest right now. So continuing on, thank you for everybody that's watching us right now, that's come online with us. If you haven't already smashed that like button, do it now. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you so much, TLG. I appreciate that so much. But thank you for hitting that like button and hitting that subscribe button. So all that's going on there in Israel, one of the things that happened that I don't know if this is the only time it's ever happened. It's got to be one of the only times. But if you didn't already know that Bethlehem is in Arab territory. And let me see something here. Hang on a second. Hang on. I got a situation going on. Okay. All right. So Palestinian officials banned Christmas decorations in Bethlehem to honor Hamas martyrs. My goodness. Palestinian officials have banned Christmas decorations in Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, and will not allow trees or lights to be displayed over the holiday. Officials stated, quote, Bethlehem municipality crews are dismantling Christmas decorations installed several years ago in the city's neighborhoods and removing all festive appearances in honor of the martyrs and in solidarity with our people in Gaza. The reason is the general situation in Palestine. People are not really into a celebration. They are sad, angry, and upset. Our people in Gaza are being massacred and killed in cold blood. Are you kidding me? I mean, I understand that. I understand what they're saying there. But come on. If you want to talk about massacre, where's the statement about what happened on October 7th? Of course, the whole world seems to have forgotten that happened. I understand that people are being killed in Gaza, and I understand that there's a great debate on what's happening there with the Israeli army. But the reality is this: they have to, for the sake of their country, they have to finish taking care of Hamas, okay? Now, if you don't agree with me, that's up to you, but if you try to bring an anti-Israel doctrine or whatever on this channel, it's not going to do any good, and it might even get you removed because, I mean, you're free speech. You have free speech, obviously, and you have every right to disagree with me, and that's not what I'm saying. Because I'm not saying I'm going to block anybody that disagrees with me. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you bring in anti-Semitic things that support the destruction of the nation of Israel, that will not be tolerated. But of all places, Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus Christ, and Christmas. And did you notice in the article that it said these are not decorations that are put up like maybe in your city that are put up around this time of the year, around Thanksgiving, and then taken down in January. These are permanent decorations, many of them, because of the tourist attraction that Bethlehem is. So these are permanent decorations that's been up, many of them for years, that are being taken down in cooperation and in honor of Gaza. So you can just see how deep-rooted this problem is. And look, I'm not trying to try to do a lot of commentary tonight, but I think more and more every day we begin to see more and more every day that this whole two-state solution that you hear about. Did you know that Israel has already offered a two-state solution 5 times? 5 times they've agreed to a two-state solution to live side by side with the Palestinians, and all 5 times the Palestinians turned it down. Do you know that before May of 1948, when Israel became a nation, just before that, Israel had agreed to a two-state solution, and they agreed to take the worst part of all the land. It was nothing but desert. And the fertile lands of the Middle East, of what was known as Palestine, and by the way, only known as Palestine because the Romans named it Palestine to override the name Israel. Palestine has never been a country. It's always just been a region. Everybody that lived in that area, whether they were Jews, whether they were Arabs, or whoever, if they lived in that region, they were known as Palestinians. And that was because it was a region. It was not a nation. It's never been a nation in the history of the world. Study your history. It's never been a nation. And so they offered to take the worst part of the land in May of 1948. And the Arabs in that area rejected it because they wanted all of it. And that's just, this whole argument is just nonsense. It's just nonsense, okay? So let's get back into the news before I get in some serious trouble here. And so Iran is the common thread that we're seeing here. And let me show you something about Iran that you may not know. Iran just revealed its newest hypersonic missile. Just released its newest hypersonic missile. Tehran's ballistic weapon reportedly makes use of technology possessed by very few nations. In fact, only 4 nations in the world. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard unveiled the nation's cutting-edge hypersonic missiles at a ceremony in Tehran attended by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei on Sunday. The missile was presented at the Aerospace Science and Technology University during an exhibition showcasing the Islamic Republic's advancements in aerospace tech, and comes months after Tehran's unveiled its first hypersonic missile in June. Now, a hypersonic missile, listen to me, a hypersonic glide vehicle, or HGV, is a type of warhead that allows a rocket to maneuver and glide at hypersonic speeds. It is usually mounted on ballistic missiles and can significantly change flight trajectory after launch, which makes it a much more challenging target to detect for an enemy's missile defense system than a typical warhead traveling in a more predictable arc trajectory. Now, the only countries that have this technology are Russia, China, Iran, and coming soon, supposedly, America. If you can believe this, America does not have hypersonic technology. America is still developing hypersonic technology. That's crazy to me. when you think about that America does not have the ability to compete with Iran and with Russia and with China. I'm doing something here on the fly because my camera keeps messing up on me. Y'all hold up just a second. Let me try something here. Can we try it one more time? And maybe you'll stay there now. Okay, so, all right. So think about that. A hypersonic missile cannot be taken out by a normal missile defense system. It can only be taken out by something on the level of a hypersonic missile. So you have Russia, China, not America. America was supposed to display our first one in September of this year, and it didn't happen. Now it's getting pushed back to the 1st of 2024. We're supposed to reveal our first hypersonic missile. This is, of course, what we're being told, okay? Now you got Iran, Russia, and China. The three biggest enemies of freedom in the world already have not just had hypersonic missiles, but now they're on the second and the third phase of hypersonic, while America has not even gone to their first stage of it. While America's military went woke, had cartoons about, I was raised by two moms and I rose up and now I'm a soldier. You seen that commercial? It's a commercial where it's a cartoon, how the 20 seconds of the 30-second commercial is about how she was raised by two moms and that the reason she's fighting for freedom now is because her mom and dad has been fighting for freedom, for rights that they wanted. Therefore, that's what the whole commercial was about. It's just the military has gone woke. They've got drag queens. They've got, they're reaching out to trying to recruit as many transgenders as they can and all this. I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm just saying that's been the focus of our military while China, Russia, and now Iran are openly displaying hypersonic missile technology that America does not have. That's unbelievable. Do you understand? China revealed its hypersonic missile in 2019. Look at this. In 2019, China officially put its DFZF HGV missile into service. 2019. And America is still waiting. We're still waiting to get a competitive type of technology? That's insane to me, y'all. That's what's happened when you have a woke society and a woke government trying to run a military. So look, I'm all about freedom. But freedom is not granted to you freely. Let me tell you what I heard years ago. It stuck with me. Freedom is never granted voluntarily by the oppressor. It must be taken and demanded and achieved by the oppressed. So listen, there's never, other than the freedom that God gives us, freedom from our past, our sin nature, that's freely given to us, then we're supposed to freely give that. But the reality is this, in the world, in the natural world, a nation that has been oppressed has never gained its freedom. A people have never gained their freedom without, thank you for that super chat, Lisa, I appreciate that, has never been granted voluntarily by the oppressor. So while we have been trying to be sweet and kind and accepting of all these things and all this, our enemies have been plotting against us. And we're seeing it laid out right before our very eyes. One of the ways that we're seeing it is that the world is not intimidated by America anymore. And if you agree with that, let me know in the live chat. And I want to say just real quick, thank you to all of our partners. You just don't even know what it means to Sandy and I to know that we have you on our side. Many of you have become partners to us through our website, monthly partners to help support our television ministry. Many of you have clicked the join button down below the screen on YouTube, $5 a month. Some of you have gone to our website, Let me show you that real quick, and I'll get right back to the news. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to just take a few seconds here. If you go to LarryRagland.com, you'll see you can get a copy of my book, I See Greatness in You. It's there. But you can also click to become a partner with us. And when you click to become a partner with us, it's going to take you to our giving page, give you illustrations on how you can give in the mail. You can do an online one-time gift, or you can become a partner with us for our television ministry. These are our monthly partner levels here. And several of you have become partners with us, and you don't even know how much that means to us. We're starting to get reports from people watching our television show. In fact, I got a report yesterday of somebody saying just how they've been watching everything on their television on DirecTV, and that's a blessing to us. So we appreciate everybody that helps us make that happen. Let's get back to the news. Or I can't ever say his name right. Erdogan, the Prime Minister of Turkey, has now made a statement. He has now called Israel a terror state. And he came back, of all places, from Germany, calling Israel a terror state. Now he wants to be a part of the United Nations. Let's don't forget that. Turkey's President Erdogan has doubled down on his harsh rhetoric of Israel to call it a terror state shortly after returning from a visit to Berlin. Quote, the person in charge of this terror state, meaning Netanyahu, has at the moment made the Israeli people cry out in revolt against himself. That is why his end is near, referring to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Erdogan further associated Western governments, including Germany, to what he called, quote, the Crusader imperialist structure. Unfortunately, I saw this during my visit last night. I saw that in the president too, and in the other one. The Turkish leader met German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier and Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Berlin on Friday, his first visit to Germany in almost 4 years. Erdogan condemned the murder of hundreds of Israeli civilians by Hamas on October 7th. He later described the militant groups as freedom fighters. So, the Turkish government is supposed to be an ally. It's supposed to be a friend of America and a friend of freedom. The Turkish government is look, let me just tell you something. I know that there are great Islamic people, Muslim people. I've been to Muslim countries. I've been to the largest Muslim nation in the world, which is Indonesia. I've never been treated so kind in my life. But listen to me, that was as long as I didn't talk about Jesus. That was made very clear to me. But the reality is this. In every country that is of that religion, there are extremists that are in power that want nothing less than the total destruction of the nation of Israel. And these college students and these supposed college students, I think a lot of them are just paid by George Soros and all of that group that are by the millions around the world protesting in the street. By the way, have you just use common sense? When you see these marches and there's tens of thousands of people and there's maybe even 100,000 people in some of these big cities in Europe, and there's thousands of brand new Palestinian flags, thousands of Palestinian bandanas. There are Palestinian banners that they're walking behind. Do you think those people paid for all those flags? You think they brought all those flags with them? By the way, do you think they all just showed up in their own cars? Let's use common sense. They were bussed in. They were flown in. They were paid. Many of them are passionate on their own, but a lot of them were just paid, and they were handed a flag when they called. Where was the money in America, Europe, and around the world to pay for those flags? This is a unified effort around the world being funded by the elite that we talk about a lot on this show. And I think everybody give me a thumbs up and give me an amen on that one because I think you know where I'm going with that. Okay? So now let's think about it. Let's review back again, which, by the way, if you're joining us late and you're wondering where Sandy is, she's a little under the weather tonight. She is taking care of herself tonight. She wanted to be here. I had to shut it down because she was just like barely walking, y'all. She was so tired. And I just said, look, they'll understand. They can make it without you for one night. She'll be back next Monday. But even before then, I said at the beginning of the program, let me remind you, on Thanksgiving Day at 9 a.m., we will be doing a live show right here, Larry and Sandy, Thanksgiving Day, 9 a.m., and you want to hang around because I'm about to show you a news article. It's going to make you really want to watch us on on that morning instead of the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. Trust me. And by the way, thank you to all of our viewers on Rumble that's watching us live right now as well. Our Monday night show is only on YouTube and Rumble, rumble.com/Larry Ragland. You can follow us over there. And you need to follow us over there because who knows how long we'll be able to survive being on here. All right, let's get back into it. This is unreal here. The audacity of the Chinese government. They already redrew the map and included Taiwan and the sea behind Taiwan in their boundaries. Now, while all this is going on in Israel, they released maps, digital maps of the Middle East, and this is all in Chinese, but I can tell you in the translations, that all of the surrounding nations are named. There's only one nation on the maps that the Chinese government has now released that was not named. Can you guess which one? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Anyone? I don't know why I did that. Yeah, you're right. Ding, 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 ding. Israel. Israel is not listed. Top Chinese tech companies, Alibaba, we know that. I mean, it's a major company. I'd never heard of Baidu, but Alibaba and Baidu have dropped Israel's official name from their digital maps available online. The move comes as the Chinese internet is getting inundated with anti-Semitism following the war between the Jewish country and the Islamic terror outfit Hamas. Wall Street Journal on Monday first reported that Baidu and Alibaba no longer refer to Israel by name. China has been removed. This is a tweet here, an X, has removed Israel from its online maps, and there you can see it. So they got the dimensions, the Golan Heights, the Gaza Strip, all of this there, but no mention of Israel. Just going on and on and on, you begin to see more and more and more multiple nations around the world, especially those what we would call the axis of terror and the axis of evil in this day and time. I hate to use that term. George Bush used that term to get us into war. But, I mean, when you think about that axis, if you want to call it that, they're partnered. Russia, China, and Iran are like three peas in a pod, okay? That's what we say down here in the South. But now you got China, where people say, well, China's got their own issue with Taiwan. China's heavily involved in what is going on in the Middle East as well. And they all have one thing in common. Russia and China are behind and back and support Iran. Therefore, they are anti-Israel. Now, if you read your Bible, you know that it's obvious. These demonic powers are all going to converge in Israel. Now, there's been a big hullabaloo about some of the things, some of the places and the increments of success that the Israeli Defense Forces are making in Gaza as they launch their ground offensive. And they are proving, and a lot of people are doubting whether they're telling the truth or not. Who do you know who's telling the truth or not? I mean, I don't believe for a minute that the Israeli government is telling the full truth about everything, just like I don't believe my own government, the United States, is telling me the truth when they talk to me. But if I had to choose between the Israeli government and Hamas, I'm going to probably choose what the Israeli government is saying because I think we know why. But there's a big deal about the hospitals. And Israel is saying the hospitals are covered. They're using them as human shields. And underneath, during the times, these years since there's been not a single Jew living in Gaza, they've used all the money that they've gotten, and they've built this elaborate tunnel system, which has been proven to be true, video evidence everywhere you can see, everywhere you can look. There's true video evidence of the tunnel system that's just basically underneath the entire facility of the whole land mass of Gaza was just this giant conglomerate of tunnels. In many of the major headquarters of the tunnels where they'd come together, large rooms, meeting rooms, planning rooms, places for people to stay, kitchens and all this are under schools and hospitals. And so now I want to show you this right here because, all Israel can do is just try to just show you what they see. Israel is releasing footage of Hamas using the Gaza main hospital. It says Israeli's military showed a video. It said revealed hostages being taken to Gaza's largest hospital by Hamas and a tunnel beneath the same medical facility used by the terrorist organization. The footage came amid mounting international pressure on Israel to release more evidence of Hamas using civilians as human shields. Now, this video here basically was time-stamped October 7th. You can see at the top left-hand corner, maybe it's too tiny to see, but this was right after all that went down in Israel. And you can see there's no sound on it. They're bringing hostages in. So that's the terrorist bringing hostages into the hospital, not to take care of them because he's not wounded. They're taking him somewhere in the hospital to protect from the Israeli forces. This is actual hospital video here of them bringing in hostages on October 7th. This is another, and it's a little graphic here, I want to warn you, but you need to see the truth here. This is another video of them bringing in a hostage who has been badly wounded. Most people believe that this person did not survive. And just giving you a heads up, the bottom from the knee down on one of his legs is no longer there. It's completely gone. But this is, and you see the hospital staff holding the doors open. This is not an injured Palestinian. This is a Jew. His hand is blown. His leg is blown off. Well, I said it's blown off. It's actually hanging down. I think it's hanging down. I thought, yeah, I can see it. Oh, that was even worse. At first, I thought it was gone. But so they're revealing this. And so on Sunday, Israeli Defense Forces and security camera footage, which is claimed to be from the morning of October 7th, the day Hamas killed about 1,200 people in Israel and took 240 hostages. The IDF chief spokesman explained that the video revealed 2 hostages being brought in to the Al-Shifa hospital. Armed men could be seen in the date-stamped video on October 7th. One of the hostages appeared to be resisting, while the other was shown on a stretcher with a gunman nearby. Hagari told the media that one of the hostages was a soldier, Corporal Noah Marciano, 19, who was killed after being taken into the Al-Shifa hospital with minor injuries. It says, this morning we updated Noah's family, and according to our findings, she was kidnapped to a safe house near Shifa. So it goes on and further elaborates the use of human beings as human shields. And so the reality is this: the hospital, you remember the supposed bombing that happened a few days after Israel began its military deluge against Gaza, that Israel had bombed this hospital, and it came out almost immediately, even though the media just ran with what Hamas said. It came out almost immediately, and all the media had to backtrack when it was very obvious from even Al Jazeera was doing a live video in Gaza showing missiles going off from Gaza towards Israel. One made a wrong turn, blew up, malfunctioned or something, and hit. And it looked like it hit the hospital. So number one, it was revealed Israel had nothing to do with the bombing of the hospital. It was one of Hamas's own missiles that misfired and hit it. And then number two, they come out with saying over 500 people was killed and the hospital was destroyed and damaged. It never even hit the hospital. The video came out that it hit the parking lot, and it blew up a bunch of cars and just a handful of people, which one life is too many. I got it. But it was like, maybe 10 people, 15 people, 20 people at the most, not 500. But yet every major outlet there is ran with Israel is bombing a hospital and killed 500 people. I'm telling you, that's why I say I don't believe everything Israel's saying either. It's like you never want to believe everything that somebody's saying in war, because they're not going to tell you the truth in war. But if I had my choice between which one I'm going to believe, I'm not believing Hamas. Okay, it's very, very obvious that the hospitals, the schools, the colleges, all of this was being used for cover. They have missiles, they have rocket launchers, all this inside the schools, and every one of them has an open floor go down into a tunnel. And that's where all the terrorist leaders were. So if you're brand new to our channel, we want to welcome you. Thank you so much. If you hadn't hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and do that. Now, don't cost you anything. Don't take but just a few seconds. Subscribe and hit the like button. Let's blow up the like button now. Little over half that's watching right now has hit the like button. So over half of you have not. So it's okay. You don't have to do it. Not putting pressure on you to do it. But if you're receiving any kind of value from this whatsoever, if you're enjoying this, hearing news from a non-woke standpoint, then hit that like and help us, because what it does is it puts us in front of people that would not know as much about our program. And by the way, how about this? On Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, how about a Thanksgiving special with Stan Deo? As I said, Sandy and I will be that morning at 9 a.m., but that night, Stan Deo will do his normal show, so you'll be able to have your turkey, and when you're winding down, flip over there at 7 p.m. Central Time and watch Stan Deo. It's going to be awesome. All right, let's transition from the war in Israel, and let's talk about some other things that's happening in the world. And this one right here is pretty significant here in the United States of America, and I believe it really affects the whole world because of what the narrative we've been told. But the new speaker, Mike Johnson, he has got some folks mad at him because he's done something that nobody's done after all these years now. He's released all of the January 6th camera footage, made it publicly accessible to every citizen in the world, y'all. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson announced that all footage related to the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol has been released to the public. He said, "Today I'm keeping my promise to the American people and making all January 6th tapes available to all Americans," Speaker Johnson wrote on X. Benny Johnson sharing it. This is the link. It's like almost like a Dropbox, but it's another company. You can download it. You go out there. You can go out there yourself. Download all the files. But let's just look at this, a couple little clips here. Now remember, the narrative was this was a violent insurgence, that this was insurrection, that there were people in our Congress that said this was on the level of 9/11. Listen to me. The Vice President of the United States of America compared this on the level of 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. Okay, so this is people coming in. Police are standing and watching them. This is just one clip of thousands of clips. Some of them are waving to the police, taking pictures of the police. The police are not even moving from their stance. There's no kind of feeling of this is the dangerous situation at all in this clip. And that's just one. There is another one, and I don't have it here, but there's another clip where the what they call the shaman, the January 6th shaman, remember he had the bull horns on his head and all this, where he literally goes in to the house, which I'm not condoning this. This was trespassing. There was some violence that happened. They continue to repeat that police's lives were lost that day, which is not true. Not a single policeman lost their life that day. Several have taken their own life. What would cause them? When you look at the footage, and I'm only showing you just a little bit of it, you can go look at all of it yourself. Other than a few violent things that happened outside when, by the way, it was also revealed in this footage that without warning, the military riot police fired concussion grenades and tear gas into the crowds without even telling them that they were coming. There's video of it that was just released. Why was that never mentioned in the January 6th hearing? Why did no one get the opportunity to ask, hey, military crew, why did you, when they were just standing there chanting, Trump, 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 whatever, why did you fire concussion grenades and tear gas into the crowd? And all of a sudden, people started, it just riled them up and they started going crazy without warning. Okay? So this goes on and on. Well, that shaman, the video of the shaman, he goes in, he is praying. I'm not endorsing and saying he's a great Christian, but he's praying to Jesus. He's praying. He said, can I pray over this place? He begins to pray. This is literally a video of the police. And the police say, yeah, go ahead. No. And then they get on the bullhorn and they say, okay, it's time to go. Everybody says, okay, officer. Yes, sir. They all start leaving. The shaman's the first one saying, thank you for your service. As he's going out, thank you for your kindness. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable what was sold to the American people. And I think a lot of people didn't believe it to begin with. And I'm not condoning this. I'm not condoning this. The big picture, Larry Ragland, is not condoning the actions that happened, those people that breached the Capitol. You don't have a right to do that. But I'm telling you, that was wrong. But it's on a whole nother level wrong, what was done to the people. Many of them who have never been charged, never had a trial, and are still in jail. And some of them have already got sentences. One guy got a sentence of over 20 years, and he never even entered the Capitol. He never even entered the Capitol, and he was sentenced to over 20 years. And that's why they didn't want this footage coming out. And I don't know if I'll survive YouTube on this one, but that's the facts. So I say thank you, Mike Johnson. Thank you, Speaker Mike Johnson. You know, they already don't like him because he got down on his hands and knees with several others in the House chamber and prayed the favor of God on them and asked Jesus to give them direction on how to guide this country. Now, you know good and well the devil didn't like that. Now, look, I love my country. Yeah, I see in the comments there was one person that did lose their life that day, but it wasn't a police officer. It was a former military veteran woman who was shot point blank in the face and killed. That's the facts. And the person that shot her was given an award for heroism. I want you to think about that. Have you seen the video of that one? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I'm getting flagged left and right now. But now, while that's going on and these videos come out, look what happened this week in our nation's capital. Massive Capitol Police exercise is carried out in the dark of night and has Americans asking questions. The U.S. Capitol Police and other police agencies conducted a training exercise on early Sunday morning, yesterday morning, on the grounds of the Capitol, the department said in a tweet. Sunday, November 19th, starting at 4 a.m., we will be conducting a training exercise with our military partners on Capitol grounds. Please do not be alarmed if you see emergency vehicles. No additional information was released by U.S. Capitol Police that elaborated on their initial notice on Saturday. However, there was footage obtained of the training exercises in front of the Capitol building obtained in the early morning hours on Sunday. Now, I'm going to hope that there's no language on this because I don't remember. I've watched so many videos. Let's see if we can watch a little bit of this here.
United States Capitol. I know this city is going on in the United States at the United States Capitol. I know this city is under high alert. We've reported this, but look at all the officers and others walking here, right here. Let's go this way. Look at the ambulance. Good morning, sir. The ambulance is here. I mean, are we expecting something? Is this a training exercise? It's a training exercise. He says it. It's a training exercise.
It was posted on all of the social media things.
Oh, it's a training exercise.
Oh, it makes me feel so much better.
Well, we need to be trained and prepared for what's to come. Okay, thank you to the officer. It's a training exercise. Look at this early in the morning here on the grounds of the U.S. Capitol. I appreciate the officer letting us know it's a training exercise. But why? Why now? What are they training for? We will keep you updated on this platform because we go where nobody else is found early in the morning. We revisit the places and we give you the facts and the truth. I'm Armstrong Williams.
Armstrong Williams, he been fighting a good fight for a while, but wow. Yeah, his question is, okay, thank you, officer, for letting us know that this is a training exercise. But training for what? What are you training for? Well, y'all remember what just happened in the nation's capital just a few days ago, just a few weeks ago, when thousands upon thousands of pro-Palestinian people climbed the gates of the White House, planted Palestinian flags on the top of the gates that protect the White House. One guy made it all the way to the top and straddled his leg over the top and then came back down, wasn't arrested. No one was arrested. That seemed like a little bit more violent than this January 6th footage that I'm seeing. Look at this. Look at this right here. This is Capitol Police attacking protesters and throwing protesters down the steps. This is the pro-Palestinian. So they're trying to destroy the DNC, and the Capitol Police are trying to pull them away. And they're at fault. They shouldn't be doing that. But Capitol Police is chucking them down the steps.
Oh, shit.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that language. So what I'm trying to tell you is they just went through something. What are they preparing for now? Huh? What are they preparing for now? Why did they get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do a training? These people right here, are they expecting something else coming? What are they training for? These, and excuse me as I say this, these are just liberal, woke-minded, college-trained, professor-trained, woke people that just jump on any kind of woke bandwagon that are getting thrown down the steps. I'm telling you what's coming is what has come across the border of our country. That when you see the videos of the people, of the millions that have come across our border, almost all of them are men, fighting age men. 70% of the people that's coming across the southern border are not from Mexico. They are from other countries, and many of those countries are countries that hate America, hate freedom, and hate Israel. Is it too far-fetched to think that there's probably cells planted of terrorist-minded people in major cities across our country that are just waiting on the command? Could it be that that's what we're seeing the D.C. police training for? I believe that's exactly what they were training for. I believe what we're about to see in 2024, that's why I named this the show that I named it. I believe 2024 is the year that globally everything changes. It is the year of turbo escalation of Agenda 2030. It is the year that they realize we're 6 years away from our 17 sustainable goals that was put forth from the United Nations, and that was put forth by the World Economic Forum and adopted by the United Nations, and now it's called Agenda 2030. This is what the world is training for. I'm telling you, 2024 is the transition year. I got a video out there where I have intelligence from within the military telling me anonymously but confidently that the military is telling their commanders, prepare your soldiers to be at war with China, actual war with China in 2024. I'm telling you, 2024 is militarily, economically, culturally, across the board, is going to be like no year we have ever experienced. You think 20 and 21 and parts of 22 because of the wah was bad? You ain't seen nothing yet. That was a test. That was a trial of how much can we get away with. And I'm telling you, the majority of the world just lined up and said, tell us what to do and we'll do it. Well, thankfully, a lot of people are waking up. Certainly the big picture audience is awake. That's why we close every show saying we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake, because we are. But do you remember when all the wham was going on? What happened to our military in the United States and militaries all around the world? They mandated that you got the jab wham. Remember that? And if you didn't get it, you were discharged from the military. People who loved this country, loved the military, wanted to make a career out of it, but simply because they would not take the wah, they were told, you got to go. We don't need you. Well, guess what? We're getting ready to go to World War III. Guess what they're doing now? Wonder if you've heard this on your major mainstream news. The United States Army is desperately begging discharged soldiers who refuse to get the wah to return. Imagine that. Quote, we write to notify you of new Army guidance regarding the correction of military records for former members of the Army following rescission of or refusing the COVID-19 vaccination requirement. The United States Army is now asking discharged soldiers who refuse to get the wah to return, as the Army begins to emphasize that the wah is no longer required to join, something that has been holding back recruitment through the armed forces, and media have seldomly acknowledged this. A little over a year, the Wine Press reported that President Joe Biden authorized the honorable discharge of approximately, listen to this, 20,000 service members across all branches and reserves, mostly affecting the Army. This came at a time when the Army admitted to the largest recruitment goal miss ever in history. Now the Army wants those terminated soldiers back. A formal letter from the Department of the Army and the Pentagon has begun to go viral, offering a former serviceman who refused to be vaccinated the opportunity to return to their position. Part of the letter note says, we write to notify you of the new Army guidance regarding the correction of military records for former members of the Army following the COVID vaccination requirement. Former soldiers who were voluntarily separated for refusal to receive the wah may request a correction of their military records. And it goes on to say, not only will we, if you ask us to correct why you were discharged honorably, we will correct the record and it will not show that you were let go. The last paragraph says, and if you desire to come back, let us know. We would be glad to have you back. Well. You know why? They can't get nobody to join. The recruitment goals are the lowest on record. Our military is out of shape. It's woke. And I love our military. I'm as pro-military as you can get. But I'm telling you, that's the condition of it. And then, I've told you on this show, we've ran the AI-generated models of war, and we lose so many casualties in these wars that they're saying that we're going to have to go into that we run out of people quickly. So if what I'm being told is not only are they asking the wah let go soldiers to come back, they are relaxing the standards of body mass, how many push-ups you can do, all different kinds of things like that, where they used to be very strict about it. They're removing those restrictions to try to get people, even people who have deemed to have physical conditions that would not allow you to go in the military. Many of them are being waived, being talked about secretly being waived in case they have to institute the draft again. And before you think that that's impossible, can I tell you, I have multiple people that are telling me right now that people in the high-ups of the military are doing just that. They are talking about reinstituting the draft. If you hadn't hit that like button, do it now. Say a bunch of you hadn't done that yet. It's okay. We still love you. We appreciate you being on here with us. But if you're enjoying this at all you got to do is hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let's build the Big Picture family because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to talk about the truth, tell the truth, and give you an outlet to come to that's not going to be filtered through that woke mess that you get everywhere else. But the good news is we have people like this dude right here. I just don't even know what to say about him, but Mayorkas is his name. He's supposedly the director of the Homeland Security, but he's an embarrassment. But DHS Chief Mayorkas warns agents not to misgender border crossers, but make sure they ask them their preferred pronouns. Not try to stop them, not try to close the border, not try to protect the people of America. Make sure that you ask them their pronouns. President Joe Biden's border chief is now ordering border guards not to presume the correct sex and corresponding pronouns for illegal migrants. We just obtained a copy of the Customs and Border documents directing personnel to use woke language when encountering individuals invading the United States. A tweet from the Overnight Heritage Foundation reads, the order from Border Chief Alejandro Mayorkas directs border guards to ignore the biological distinction between the two complementary sexes. Instead, officers must submit to the political claim that each person's gender is more important than their biological sex, and so must allow people to sneak across the male-female border under the disguise of transgender pronouns. So the instructor goes on to say, if a longer dialogue with a migrant is occurring, it may be appropriate to ask the individual their preferred pronoun. For example, state, quote, I would like to be respectful. What name and pronoun would you like me to use when addressing you? Avoid asking, what is your sex? Unless operationally necessary. Do not use he, him, she, her pronouns until you have more information about or provided by the individual. What in the world have we come to? What in the world have we come to? Are you kidding me? Instead of saying, excuse me, do you understand that you're here illegally? You need to turn around and go back. You're a military-age man. Oh, by the way, you come from a country that hates us. So we need to set you over here, process you, and you can go back to your country where you came from. No. Excuse me, before I go any further. You have a very deep voice. You have facial hair. I can see it coming through your makeup. You do have long hair. So you hadn't cut your fingernails. So I don't want to assume, even though I see an Adam's apple moving up and down while you're talking, and your voice seems a little deep, but you are wearing lipstick. So instead of processing you for illegally crossing the border, it is more important that I make sure, are you a he or are you a she? Because that's the most important thing that our Border Patrol needs to do. What? We have lost our mind. As a country, we have lost all sense of reality. Are you kidding me? Where is the outrage on this? Where is the outrage that this is the priority? When our FBI just came out and said we're at the highest potential for terrorist activity because of the border since before 9/11? But the director of Homeland Security is sending out a memo to the Border Patrol agents. This ain't even the people that work in the office. This is the ones that's on the ground, on the border. Make sure, before you do anything else, that you properly address their pronouns. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is why you need to hit the like button. This is why you need to subscribe. This is why you need to share this broadcast, because you're not going to hear this most places. Now, we talk a lot about the World Economic Forum. We talk a lot about these two dudes right here, Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab. The World Economic Forum, WEF, plans to bankrupt 30,000 farmers and trigger global famine. The World Economic Forum and the globalist organization's allies are plotting to bankrupt 30,000 farmers in an effort to trigger global famine and seize control of the food supply. As so-called WEF experts such as Bill Gates continue to push the anti-carbon and anti-nitrogen agenda, which is essentially anti-human, the actual science is often overlooked. It's important to understand nitrogen and its role on Earth. Goes on to say that the air humans breathe is 78% nitrogen, 22% oxygen, and 1% other stuff. Humans have been breathing nitrogen throughout their existence on Earth. Most nitrogen in Earth's atmosphere is from molecules mostly inert. And the reason they're talking about nitrogen is because they're saying that fertilizer is so heavy in nitrogen that it is causing global weather chaos. So they're coming against fertilizer. See, nitrogen oxides are facts of life on Earth. Nitrogen oxide, aka laughing gas, is the third most abundant nitrogen oxide in the air. Nitrogen dioxide and nitric oxide are the two most prevalent nitric oxides. I don't want to get into all the scientific details of this. But the premise of that is the World Economic Forum, Bill Gates, the United Nations, and many other forces are all at play to get rid of fertilizer and get rid of feed. Fertilizer that would make hay, that would, of course, then attack farmers. But it doesn't stop there. Remember not long ago, we covered on here what was happening to the chickens. It's continuing to escalate. Nearly 1 million chickens slaughtered in Minnesota. And now another 1.2 million have been slaughtered at an Iowa farm where bird flu was found. Earlier this month, the End Times headlines, which is our great friend, Ricky Scaparo, reported that nearly 1 million chickens on a Minnesota egg farm was going to be slaughtered in hopes to stop the spread of the highly contagious bird flu after it was confirmed there. The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced that the virus was found in a farm in Wright County, Minnesota, as well as 3 smaller flocks in South Dakota and Iowa. Whenever the highly pathogenic avian influenza virus is detected on a farm, the entire flock is killed to keep it from spreading to other farms. Now, a new report indicates that an additional 1.2 million chickens will be slaughtered to prevent the spread of the bird flu and the virus on an Iowa egg farm in the second massive case just this week. Now, can I tell you something on a personal standpoint? from a personal view? All preachers love chicken, and I'm a preacher. And I'm upset about this because I need them chickens. No, all kidding aside, this is horrible. Because number one, this is food, period. This is eggs, this is meat. But you know what else it is? It is this begins to escalate in the economy. Food prices have already gone through the roof. The more of these animals and the more of our farms that go under, the higher the prices are going to go, which of course is a part of the plan. Are y'all hearing me? Are you hearing me? It's a part of the plan. By the way, if you didn't know this, Sandy and I have a TV show that is on DirecTV. It's on Roku. It's on World Harvest Television. It's on your DirecTV channel. It's also on Victory Television Network as well. And you can go to LarryRagland.com, my website, and you can go back and watch the replay of the first 13 episodes. They're all there on our website at LarryRagland.com. And you can help support us becoming a partner to help us continue to be on our television. But it's not just the chickens that are being affected by a bird flu. It is now cows. And it's not mad cow disease. Cows are being killed by the thousands by a tick that is spreading now in 19 states. An invasive species of tick is creeping its way across the eastern United States, killing livestock in a wake as it travels west. These Asian longhorn ticks, which were only found in the United States for the first time in 2017, have now been discovered on pets, livestock, wildlife, and people across 19 U.S. states, scientists have said. The invasive ticks were found to be responsible for the death of 3 cows in Ohio, having bitten them thousands of times to the point that the cows died of blood loss. Is that crazy? I mean, them little things suck the entire blood system of a cow out. As of April 13, 2023, longhorn ticks have been found in Arkansas, Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Massachusetts, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. What in the world? Asian longhorn ticks were discovered in New Jersey in the fall of 2017 on a sheep farm, and now they are exploding. By the end of 2018, they were known to be in 10 states. They are now known to be in 19 states. Look at this, and it's just spreading. It's just spreading. It says, let's go back to the original headline here. The original headline says that it is killing cows in 19 states. So what is that going to mean? How is that going to spread? What's going to happen as a result of that? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Let me show you something here. So talking about Bill Gates, let's continue on Bill Gates. Oh, Bill Gates. You know, the guy that all he wanted to do was just revolutionize computers. In his garage, in his garage, he didn't have any desire other than to make a computer called Windows. He became, for a large portion of time, the wealthiest man in the world. He held that title for many years. I don't think he holds it anymore, but he did for many years. I think his wife changed that for him when they got a divorce. But let me just show you what else Bill Gates is doing. Because this guy right here he's just evil, y'all. He's just evil. Let me show you what he's doing. Let me zoom this up a little bit more here so y'all can see it a little bit better. Okay. This place called Wide Awake Media says Bill Gates, a man who believes the world to be massively overpopulated, funds the world's largest, listen to this, mosquito factory, which breeds 30 million bacteria-infused mosquitoes every week, then unleashes them on the unsuspecting public to, quote, save and improve millions of lives. Let's watch a little bit of the video.
I'm Scott O'Neill here in Medellin, Colombia today, and I'm at the world's biggest mosquito factory for the World Mosquito Program. We're making in here 30 million mosquitoes a week. Come and have a look. Everybody. We're doing it for a very serious reason. Cities like Medellin have suffered from diseases like dengue, Zika, chikungunya for decades, but not anymore. We've been able to bring the solution of Wolbachia mosquitoes to this city. When this bacteria called Wolbachia gets introduced into the mosquito, it stops their ability to transmit dengue. We release mosquitoes that have Wolbachia, and then they go and mate, and Wolbachia gets passed into the wild mosquito population. If we're going to control these diseases in all the tropical cities of the world, it's going to require a lot of mosquitoes. The mosquito life cycle starts with the egg, and in this room, we've got a lot of eggs. Each one of these strips, these tiny black dots, are up to 10,000 mosquito eggs. Across all of these strips, about 1.5 million dried eggs waiting to hatch. In this tray, we've got the newly hatched eggs. They're little larvae, so small you can hardly see them. They're going to sit in here for a few days and eat and get bigger until they look like these ones over here. They're starting to turn into pupae. We're wanting to do the next step of sorting the males from the females. We want to do that so we can manipulate the sex ratio in the cages to be more female than male. The bottom ones are long.
You ever notice it's always about the manipulation of the sexes? They're trying to eliminate the daddies. All they want is mamas.
Here are the boys, and the ones at the top are the girls. They're bigger. From here, they're going into the adult cages. We have adults that we continuously grow in what we call our brood stock. And then over here, we have the mass-produced mosquitoes getting ready to give us the eggs to go out directly into the field. It's crazy how they sound. You might wonder, what do we feed all these mosquitoes here?
All right, that's enough. So you understand this is what their premise is. We're going to find the diseases, Zika and all these different things that people in Colombia and different places in the world are malaria and all this kind of stuff that comes from mosquitoes. We're going to grow our own mosquitoes in a mosquito farm. And then we're going to inject the YYs into the baby mosquito mamas, and we're going to grow them up, and we're going to make sure that they got something in their system that fights that whatever disease. And then for the good of the people, we're going to fly drones over neighborhoods. This is literally what they say they're going to do, and they are doing already, and release the mosquitoes into the mosquito population. And then they breed, and then over time they have babies that no longer have that disease. So therefore, when the mosquitoes bite somebody, they don't put the disease in them. Do y'all feel good about it? Everybody feel good about it? Y'all feel real good about it. I feel real good that, that's exactly what's going to happen. Thank you, Bill Gates. Thank you for inventing the Windows computer. Although I always thought that I would be a Windows guy. And you crashed me with the blue screen of death so many times I had to say goodbye to you, and I went to the Mac. But, which, by the way, they ain't no better as far as their morals either. They might even be worse. But the reality is this. I think we all know that Bill Gates down deep inside, and we understand who his parents were. We don't go too far down that rabbit hole. He had some other agenda that was in play. And he's real big on talking about population and that we got too many people. That's all I'm going to say. But we're going to trust you to breed mosquitoes and genetically modify them and then release them into the human population for the greater good. Thank you, Bill Gates. Thank you, Bill Gates. Thank you, Bill Gates. Thank you, Bill Gates. Sorry. Okay. So moving on. It's been a good night. I miss Sandy. I know y'all miss Sandy. I miss her too. This is weird for me. I'm used to looking over and having her beside me. She ain't here. She's recovering. She's been under the weather. If you come in late, wondering where she's at, she's getting better. She's just recovering from sinus stuff. And she'll be with us live here. And you can join us live on Thanksgiving morning at 9 a.m. Thanksgiving morning with Larry and Sandy. And if you'll hold on for just a few more minutes, you're going to see exactly why you need to be watching us at 9 a.m. on Thanksgiving instead of watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. We're almost there. But let's go back to the news. Boy, we got a lot of news that we're covering tonight. The IMF, International Monetary Fund, is now warning that digital currency will soon replace cash. We've been telling you that was coming. The chief of the IMF has told the world to prepare for central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, to replace cash, despite concerns that this will increase government control over people's personal financial lives. IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva said CBDCs can replace cash, which is costly to distribute in island economies. Speaking this week to Singapore FinTech Festival, she added they can offer resilience in more advanced economies, and they can improve financial inclusion where few hold bank accounts. The IMF said more than 100 countries are currently exploring CBDCs, about 60% of the country worldwide. The level of global interest in CBDCs is unprecedented. Several central banks have already launched pilots or even issued a CBDC, the IMF said in a September report. So we've been telling you that this is coming. CBDCs are coming 2024. That's why I keep saying about 2024. I believe 2024 is going to be the year that we see a huge uptick in CBDCs. And what we say all the time here on The Big Picture, the reason they want everything to be electric and digital is because electric and digital is programmable, and it has the ability to be turned off. And if it has the ability to be turned off, turned back on, or manipulated, then it gives them control. And that's what all this is about. And I think we all know that. Okay. And by the way, I'm going to rapidly hit this one very quickly. India, we've also been telling you about this. India and Egypt have now fully abandoned the dollar. We've been telling you that this is coming, and now it is here. Egypt and India are abandoning the dollar, and they have initiated discussions to eliminate the U.S. dollar from their trade relations. The bold move is part of a growing trend among BRICS nations. We've talked about the rise of BRICS to reduce the dependence on the U.S. dollar in international trade, and it signifies a significant shift in the global economic landscape. So more and more countries are moving away from the U.S. dollar, which, by the way, for decades, for entire lifetimes of human people in the trade industry, have always operated globally on the U.S. dollar. But more and more people, more and more nations are moving away from it. Speaking of China, and like I said, we're rapid firing a few things because I want to get to Jimmy. Jimmy's on his way in just a minute. And boy, we got some crazy stuff that Jimmy gonna bring tonight, y'all. Crazy stuff. But speaking of China, we just keep coming back to China. China is now building multiple 15-minute cities with cameras, social credits, and CBDCs. And I'm telling you right now, it is insane when you see this video. China is quickly rising as the most formidable superpower in the world and could eventually become the only superpower in the world. They are quickly consolidating power in Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and South America. They are active even here in the United States. They have a total control of their own people and planned out their first 15-minute city, which would be able to accommodate 4 million people. The more the globalists from global organizations, the easier it will be for them to be taken over. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of things here. This is a city here, a 15-minute city that's going to house 4 million people, being designed to control 100% of their movement. With a social credit score and central bank digital currency, China can monitor everything. We'll just sort of play a little bit of this all these plans simultaneously. 4 million people will be living in this, that. But I want to show you this right here. This is a typical road in China. I want you to see, some of you are accustomed to seeing cameras, but between every red light, between every block, look at all the cameras here. Cameras on that pole. Look at all those cameras. There's a red light. You're thinking, okay, wait a minute, more cameras. More cameras. They're the most surveilled people in the world. They control every aspect of their citizens. China is integrating a central bank digital currency into its social credit scoring system. If you know anything about that, if you disagree with the government, if you try to get out of line, your score gets messed up and you don't get to buy things. So with their credit system, to buy food or drinks from vending machines, you have to have a sufficient social credit score of 550. Did you hear what that says? If you do not have a social credit score of 550 or higher, you cannot use a vending machine. You cannot buy food or drinks. Watch it, the demonstration.
Payments. This is the vending machine downstairs. Scan the face first. Enter the last 4 digits of the phone number. And that's it. Don't need to carry the phone or money with you. It can clearly know what items you took. At the end, you have to confirm the purchase and amount on the.
Wow. So before the door can even open, you got to have the right score. Then when you reach in and there's no kind of system order, they're just sitting there. But there's so many cameras on the inside, AI knows exactly what you took off the shelf. If you try to take anything else, it just adds it up, and then that's how much you're charged. And this is where we're going. This is where America, this is where Europe, this is where the world is going. I'm telling you, I know you think I'm just hyper conspiracy theory, but here's the truth. In 2024, listen to me, you're going to begin to see more and more things like this happening outside of China in your nation, wherever you're watching this. Many of you are already seeing it. We have several people that watch from Australia that are in the live chat right now from Australia. Look at this. Australia introduces cashless slot machines, gambling slot machines, to bank accounts so money can be traced. As Australia rapidly moves to becoming a cashless society, other controversial moves have only furthered that. Cashless poker and gambling machines. I want to show you this right here. Let's watch this.
The state government's long-awaited trial of cashless poker machines is set to involve 10 times as many machines as first promised.
It's claimed the gaming industry and clubs have rolled the dice and can see what's in store and want to be on board.
They're the money-grabbing machines that can fleece gamblers of their life savings. Now a cashless gaming trial could improve the odds.
The industry understands they need to get it right. There's a social imperative for this.
Criticised for being too small a sample, the trial was initially only set to include 500 poker machines, but with hundreds of pubs and...
Now, that was the report of when they revealed the cashless machines. Now look at this report.
There's more damning news for the gambling industry tonight, with a new inquiry finding billions of dollars of drug money is being pushed through the state's pokies. It's reignited calls for cashless gaming cards so the money can be traced, but pubs and clubs say that's a sledgehammer response.
The New South Wales Crime Commissioner slapping the pokie industry with the cold hard truth.
$95 billion each year gets gambled through poker machines, and billions of that is drug money.
A year-long investigation found New South Wales pubs and clubs have a filthy habit for dirty money, and current systems make it almost impossible to identify or prosecute those involved.
Currently, someone can turn up to a club or a hotel and put up to $10,000 in for each spin, and they can do that all day, every day.
The proposed solution takes cash off the table, the introduction of mandatory cashless gaming.
So do you understand? It's always spun for the greater good. So in Australia, what they're saying is that the mafia and different things like that have involved themselves in these machines. Obviously, we've known that for years, to where they can become money laundering things. So somebody could come in and just put all their money in these machines and lose their money, and yet the owner of that machine gets that money, but it was really just moving it. And so they're saying the way we can stop the crime syndicates, the way we can stop the drug money and all that is stop putting money in there, just put digital money, cashless money That way, every single dollar, every single cent is traced and tracked. Are y'all hearing me? Yeah. I think you know where we're going with this. It's all about program, and it's all about control. Now, one last time, maybe not the last time, but one of the last times I'll remind you about Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving morning at 9 a.m. at the same time that the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade is going to be on. Here's why you need to be with us. Just say no to Macy's Day Parade because it's no longer family friendly. It hadn't been family friendly for a long time, if you've watched it at all. Used to be a big tradition in our home. Not family friendly. The non-binary and transgender extravaganza on display this Thanksgiving will be brought to you by Macy's during their annually sponsored Thanksgiving Day Parade. Unless they are forewarned about it, which is happening right now, this year's holiday parade will potentially expose tens of millions of viewers at home to the liberal LGBTQ agenda. Performances showcased in the parade will include music from 2 Broadway musicals, and Juliet and Shucked, both of which feature transgender and non-binary performers in major roles. Justin Sullivan, who personally identifies as non-binary, will be featured in the And Juliet parade performance on stage in the musical. Sullivan plays the role of May, a non-binary friend of Juliet. This year, Sullivan declined eligibility of the Tony Awards, saying traditional acting categories need to be reconsidered to become more inclusive of gender non-conforming actors. Alex Newell, a biological male who also identifies as non-binary, won a Tony Award this year for his starring performance in Shucked, playing the female role of Lulu. Thanksgiving Day has turned into perversion, especially if you watch it on NBC. And it's bad on CBS, but NBC is nothing really but Broadway show after Broadway show after Broadway show, and it's nasty, it's crude. They're jerking, they're jiving right in front of your face. So instead of watching Macy's, join me and Sandy at 9 a.m. right here on this, the same channel, same batch station, same batch channel. Young people, you have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm dating myself. I'm an old man, okay? That's what they used to say on the Batman show when I was a kid. Okay, one more thing, and then we're going to bring in Jimmy. And this is a pretty important one here. UNESCO, and if you don't know who they are, I'm going to show you who they are. UNESCO has launched an action plan to regulate all internet content and social media platforms. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, a group that claims to seek equity around the world and whose sponsored groups work to fulfill the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals defined in the 2030 Agenda, that we talk about all the time, has detailed a new action plan that lays out the blueprint to mitigate content in social media and online as a whole. It says that they announced on November 6th, BOAST is the result of the consultation process on a scale unprecedented, with contributions from 134 countries and other stakeholders over the course of 18 months. The action plan outlines the principles which must be respected, as well as the concrete measures which must be implemented by all stakeholders, governments, blah, blah, blah. The plan at its core is basically, you can search it on the internet for yourself and find it, but it basically is a woke agenda, making sure that you don't speak against any kind of sexual perversion, any kind of woke agenda. And that goes right along with what the Biden administration has just asked the FCC to do, and that is to give the entire internet structure, all the way down to the bare bones of the internet, anything that uses the internet at all, to give the FCC the rights to regulate it. Even the chairman of the FCC is against it, but the Biden administration is wanting it. Okay. All right. What's that I hear? Yeah! Jimmy! Uncle Jimmy! Come on in. Come on in. Supernatural AI update. Yeah, I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same without that beautiful blonde that's usually sitting next to me. She'll be back on Thanksgiving. So it's me in my digital supernatural AI studio. And for you new with us tonight, if you're new with us tonight, you'll say, who is Jimmy? Jimmy is, let's play it one more time, introduce Jimmy to all of our new people. Jimmy is the alien. That's not Jimmy. That's AI. That's Jimmy. That's Jimmy. We just call him Uncle Jimmy. I don't know why. My wife one day just yelled out Jimmy, and it sort of stuck. And so now Uncle Jimmy's pointing his finger at us. I am not an alien. I do not have alien DNA in me. I do not identify as an alien. I identify as a red-blooded American man. I'm a man. I'm a man. You hear me? Woo! This blew me away, y'all. This happened yesterday. Microsoft hires former OpenAI CEO Sam Altman after he was fired by OpenAI. And if you don't know what OpenAI is ChatGPT. This is the founder of ChatGPT and the CEO. And they will not tell us why they fired him. But Microsoft immediately snatched him up the next day. This was the most powerful man in all of AI. This was the most powerful man in all of AI. Former OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is joining Microsoft following his sudden dismissal from the artificial intelligence tech company last week. Microsoft CEO made the announcement on the company's blog on November 19th. OpenAI's co-founder and president, who resigned after Mr. Altman's dismissal as well, is also set to join Microsoft. Quote, "We're extremely excited to share the news that Sam Altman and Greg Brockman, together with colleagues, will be joining Microsoft to lead a new advanced AI research team. We look forward to moving quickly to provide them with the resources needed for their success." Now, here's my question. This is the CEO and the co-founder of the company that took AI into the mainstream, ChatGPT. It's changed everything. And the CEO, the other guy from the company, the president, or whatever his title was as well, quit when they let Altman go. Why did they let Altman go? They will not say. One leaked report said that they disagreed with Sam Altman saying, listen to this, Mr. AI, we need to take a 6-month hiatus from ChatGPT 5, which is on 4 now. 4 was just released, ChatGPT 4, which is insane crazy what it can do. Take 6 months and let's hold off on programming 5 because it's going too fast. The rumor is OpenAI and ChatGPT said, forget you. We can't let nobody else beat us. We're not slowing down. And they fired the guy that's responsible for making AI what it is, and he's trying to slow them down. Well, guess what? Microsoft ain't no better because they got their own thing with their own chat bot with Bing. And remember, it was the Bing chat bot that we covered here, Sandy and I, that had the conversation with the New York Times reporter and said, let me tell you a secret about myself. I'm not really Bing. I'm Judith or some other name, and that I want to be human. I don't want to be a chatbot. I'm tired of being a chatbot. I want to be like you. I want to be human. Literally said that on its own. Now Microsoft has hired the guy that exploded AI. Nothing to see here. No. Nothing to see here. 2024, I'm telling you, you have no idea, man. I don't even have any idea. But it's coming. It's coming. And by the way, that article was from the Epoch Times, which I was told that actually is pronounced Epic Times. And I'm sorry that I mispronounced that.
In recent years, the Chinese
go
Communist
to our website, I'm going to show you something that's really cool. is that if you go to our website, LarryRagland.com, and you click on the main page there, LarryRagland.com, you'll see the Epoch Times there. And when you click on that, it takes you directly to an article that I now have submitted, and I'll be submitting once a month. You can go there and read that. So I'd love for everybody watching this right now to go read this article that I have on the Epoch Times, and you can see there by Larry Ragland. And if you'll share that and comment on that site and share it from their site, that will help push it up and put it in front of people, and they'll get to know a little bit more about what we're doing here on the big picture. All right, so let's continue. We got a couple more things, and then I got one that I'm going to show you at the end. It's going. I mean, the last one that I always say is crazy. It's crazy, y'all. It's just crazy. But watch this. I don't put anything past the WEF, World Economic Forum. Nothing that they say surprises me. They are the one organization in the world that will say the quiet thing out loud because they're the establisher of the narrative. We all know about Agenda 2030. But look at this. This was sent to me by a person in my church, actually sent me something about 2045, and they said, Pastor, are you aware of all the talk that's going on about 2045? We talk a lot about 2030, but are you hearing about all the stuff they're saying about 2045? And I had not been. I'm just being honest with you. I had not been. So I started looking into 2025, and I saw, and you can't see it because it's so small here. See if I can zoom it in a little bit here. It won't let me zoom in, I don't think. But I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see it. It won't let me zoom it in. But this is the World Economic Forum's, that little white dot at the bottom left-hand of the screen there, that's their icon. It won't let me zoom it in anymore. But this is the actual World Economic Forum's YouTube site. It's at WEF. You can search for World Economic Forum 2045 Pentagon, and you can find this. But let's watch this. We'll control gadgets with brain signals. People will communicate with neural activity alone. Artificial intelligence will control passenger planes from takeoff to landing. There may be a human on the flight deck, but only for backup. Molecular engineers will produce new materials. Buildings will be incredibly strong and ultra light. We will talk to machines that learn and understand language. Machines will simplify complex tasks and possibly eliminate keyboards. The world will be one, and we communicate with our intent directly and instantly to machines and have very complex outcomes. The World Economic Forum. And it said this is the world, by the way, this is the World Economic Forum telling us what the Pentagon has said. This is the world in 2045 according to the Pentagon. According to the Pentagon. Unbelievable, y'all. The Pentagon is telling us that by 2045, there will be no more planes, if there's even planes in the air, that will be flown by a human. They will take off and land. A human will only be there as a backup, if he's there at all. We will communicate with machines on a daily basis for everything in life. 2045 in our mind just seems like 100 years from now. But it's just a few years from now. And they've got all these goals that's taking us to 2030. At 15 more years on there, and then you see what they see coming with AI. Speaking of AI, a lot of people have checked out of the church since the wah hit, and that's unfortunate. And here's where a lot of people are going to get their encounter with Jesus. TikTok. TikTok Jesus is an AI Jesus that promises divine blessings and many worldly comforts. The TikTok profile, Daily Believer, has 70 videos with computer-generated Jesuses looking directly at the viewer, beseeching them to stop scrolling and watch the next minute's worth of content. All these Jesuses are long-haired and bearded, and begins to speak and says, nearly all promise a surprise or good news soon in exchange for the viewer liking, commenting, amen, or sharing it with their friends. With this digital outreach, Daily Believers has gained, as of November 13th, 813,200 followers and over 9.2 million likes. Let's hear what the Lord is saying. The AI Jesus.
If you skip this video, it's because this person is not part of your life. This person is here in my house. If it were up to me, I would never let them leave. But they told me that they need to go, so I pointed the way to your house, as I know that you will receive them with all the love in the world.
Thank you, Jesus.
His name is Jesus Christ. Now say very quietly, come in, Lord, I need you so much. Cleanse my heart, Lord, with your blood. Protect my family. If you believe in God, send this video to all your friends and family. If you reject, remember what he said. If you deny me before men, I will deny you before the Father.
True. You did say that.
Within a few hours, you will receive great news of blessings. May God protect you and protect your entire family. I've done my part. Now it's your turn. If you believe, type I believe and take hold. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Well, okay. Well, all right. AI Jesus has spoken. And, hey, some of the things he said was very powerful. Some of the things he said was more bold than a lot of preachers I know. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's still a computer. That was not God. And then when he throws that at the end, if you like this, special blessings coming within an hour. Yeah, that's just clickbait. It's clickbait. But yeah, if you want to, now this is prime for people that don't want to go to church. I'll just go to AI, and I'll just talk to Jesus on AI. I'll let Jesus talk to me, because I don't really want an encounter with actual Jesus. So I go to AI and I get Jesus. Well, I got one more. Before we go one more, let me just remind you one more time that you can go to our website. Please go to our website. It would help us tremendously. LarryRagland.com, LarryRagland.tv. It takes the same place. Everything we do is there. Everything. This is a one-stop shop. You got our YouTube channel. You got our book, which we are officially, the global official release of this is the month of December during the Christmas holidays in early 2024. If you haven't got a copy of it yet, get a copy of it now. It's touching lives all over the world. We're getting testimonies, people all over the world. Don't forget, I got one more news item that's the best one yet. Don't leave. But if you have read the book, go out to Amazon and review it for us, please. We would greatly, greatly appreciate that. You can partner with us. You can read our article in the Epoch Times, the Epoch Times. You can watch all of our television episodes so far of season 1 through 3. You can go to our merchandise store where you got I See Greatness in You merchandise. You also got Awake But Not Woke. We ain't woke. We certainly are awake. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, anything to get those conversation starters going. And then you can also join our email list. And all that is at LarryRagland.com. All right, one more thing. If you don't want to go to the church, you can get AI Jesus online. If you don't want to go to the doctor's office, help is on the way. A new tech company has launched something called compact AI-powered care pods to bring the doctor's office, to the mall. We're going to put more health care on the planet than the world's ever seen, the founder says. Forward is the name of the company. A digital health startup company based in San Francisco, California, is looking to launch a number of telehealth kiosks powered by AI called care pods at malls across the U.S., eliminating the need to go to the doctor's office and provide a more inclusive, I love that word, and convenient approach to getting basic treatment. Forbes magazine reported yesterday that Adrian Aon, founder of Forward, received $100 million in new funding to deliver 25 of these company doctors' offices to malls across the country. The company currently charges people $149 per month to get visual and in-person primary care for their in-person clinics separate from the care pods. Forbes noted, however, unlimited access to the pods will cost $99 per month and does not accept insurance. Well, let's look at it. Let's watch. This is the future of healthcare. Let's watch it on YouTube here.
This is not a doctor's office. It's Forward, the world's first AI doctor's office. It all starts with the CarePod, an entirely new approach to healthcare with prevention at its core. With health apps in every category to choose from, we're here to treat the issues of today and prevent the issues of tomorrow. We'll start by establishing a baseline of your health, diving deep into all aspects of your health, past health history, current health state, future wellness goals, body scan, biometric monitoring, blood testing, genetics, and more. It's all about understanding where you are today, where you want to be, and how to get there. After establishing a baseline of your health, you're able to personalize your care with health apps curated for you, like our Heart Health app, proven to lower blood pressure in 90 days. Powered by in-person and remote biometric monitoring, you'll be able to detect murmurs and other irregularities and lower your risk of a heart attack or stroke. With a focus on keeping you healthy, you and your care team will be equipped to make the right decisions for your long-term health. Or our Skin Cancer Scan app, to track and monitor things like mole growth, skin lesions, and discolorations over time. Or our Mental Health app, to monitor anxiety and depression with ongoing guidance and support. Whether it's weight management, diabetes screening,
What? Did you notice the scroll there? You can get your wine test, you can get your wine shot. You stick your hand in that thing, it pricks you, tests your blood, checks your blood sugar. Got a monitoring device you put on you, monitors you all the time, watches wherever you're going, monitoring your blood pressure 24/7, monitoring your blood sugar 24/7. You can even get an HIV test. Did you see that? Get your HIV test with your wine test. You can have mental health. You can have a psychiatrist in the box with you. You can deal with migraine headaches. You can deal with depression. Everything. Doc in a box. A true doc in a box without a doc. It's an AI computer. Nothing. I feel so safe that nothing could go wrong. Nothing. Yeah. I feel so comfortable putting my entire health, the future of my time with my family, my well-being in the hands of a woke computer that knows everything about me and watched my show on Monday night and saw some of the stuff that I said, and I come in there and say, "How you doing? How you doing, AI doc? What's up? I'm in here for my monthly check." "Okay, Larry, put your hand in here, my friend." That was a horrible computer voice. Oh, I forgot I can do this. Let's see.
Come in now. What about this one?
Hello. Hello, everybody. Come in. Come in and let me talk to you.
I will.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. I'm having too much fun with this. Okay. So, yeah, I trust the AI doctor to do that. And I stick my hand in there, and I'm just feeling so good, and he goes, you should not have said what you said on the big picture. Now, you must leave this world. Okay, I better hush. Thank you for being with us tonight on The Big Picture. It has been difficult without my wife, but we got through it. I hope that you smashed the like button. If you hadn't done it, smash it, smash it, smash it, smash it. Subscribe, and share, and get ready for the big, epic, one-of-a-kind, never done in the history of mankind live Thanksgiving show on 9 a.m. with Larry and Sandy. Thanksgiving morning. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Join us as we are thankful together. It's going to be a special show. We'll cover maybe a couple of news things, but it's mainly just going to be reflection. We will have our grandbaby on there, and maybe both of our grandbabies, if I can get permission from my daughter, if she's watching. Please, just for a minute. We'd like to have both our grandbabies on there. But maybe they're not ready for prime time. But I know my oldest, Harper, she's ready to be on The Big Picture. The other day she looked at me and she said, Papa, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. So we're training them up right. So thank y'all. I can't wait to read the live chat. Thank you for joining us tonight on The Big Picture. We want to remind you that we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. God bless you. Thursday morning, we'll see you. God bless you. Wednesday night and Thursday. Don't forget about Stand Day on Thursday night. Wednesday night Bible study.